The question I was gonna ask was you mentioned that you all are partners in business. I was gonna ask what's the nature of the relationship. It sounds like a creative relationship and like maybe production partners. Can you tell us more about that?
We have a production company. We create IP. We also kiss and make great entrees. We also travel together. Our
Miranda looks
relationship
shocked right now.
I was like, where is she going with this?
Our
I was so in,
relationship
like,
is
kiss.
multifaceted. I braid her hair at night and also give her notes on acting. It's a full-rounded relationship.
What's the most that is a full rounded relationship. That's like every slice of the pie. What's the most difficult part of that whole thing? That's every dimension of the spectrum.
It is every dimension of the spectrum. What's the most difficult part?
Me getting used to doing that for me.
Sharing?
Like I'm
you
used
mean
to
sharing?
Not just sharing. I'm really good at sharing, Julie.
Uh-huh.
I am. What I have a problem, I've just been alone in my business aspect
Right.
for so long
Yeah.
that even growing up, I was told, don't let your partners involved because you don't know how the relationship's
Right.
going to go. And
Right.
when you get a divorce, you have to give them half. Like
Right.
that was the looming cloud over my whole childhood about relationships. And so marrying her, one of her childhood fantasies was to marry someone that she could also work with. So we compromised. I was like, okay, well, you can have a few years of my work relationship life. And as things grow for us and kind of grow legs in our productions and anything else, then we can find our footing as individuals within the world we create. So I'm a director, she's a producer, I'm an artist, she's actually a painter too in her own little world. And so that is the hardest part for me, having to be like, okay, everything that I was taught when I was younger, I have to throw it out of the window because my wife wants this. And it's kind of bumped a little bit, but the thing is that she's a go-getter. So for instance, our podcast, she was the lead lion on getting that deal done. And I just sat back. So that one was easy for me. Her wanting to be a guest star on That's So Raven background on Raven's Home. I was like, I don't know if we could do that.
That was really a joke, to be honest.
Was it?
That was like,
Wait a minute. You were going to deny her the unique pleasure of standing around all day, getting fed like worse, being herded into background holding. What was going on there, Raven?
No, it felt a little too close to home. I was like, Raven's home is mine. We'll do podcasts together. I like individuality, but I've definitely, being in a relationship with her, have learned how important it is to combine us.
Yeah.
I just grew up differently. You know, my blueprint of relationship was, separate kind of things, and then you guys come together for fun stuff. Like I have a different blueprint of relationships, but I'm learning.
And Miranda, what was your blueprint? How did you grow up?
the messaging that I got when it came to relationships was find a person that you really like. Find a person that you can be friends with. Find a person that you enjoy. And then the rest will kind of unfold. My parents got divorced when I was 7 years old. And my mom, I think in her post-divorce life, reflecting back, kind of had these strong messages just about like how to be a good partner, how to have balance. But what I took away from that was if you are married to somebody that you also have this strong friendship with, that you're also like growing and building together, you also have this teammate, then it's such a privilege in my mind to have the opportunity to work with somebody, to play with somebody. And I think that it can be a bit romanticized or idealized by me in terms of, you know, let's work together, whatever. But when you have a job as big as yours or as big as Raven's, you are in it a lot. You have to give a lot of yourself. So part of what I was thinking is like, if I'm part of that too, to an extent, then we get to spend more time together, because there are days where she'll be gone all day or having to travel or whatever it is. And it's like, if I'm not somehow woven into that fabric a little bit, and my skill set also aligns into this, then we'll have really separate lives. It's kind of like what you were saying earlier with your
grow
husband.
apart. Yeah.
you grow apart.
But then I have the mindset of absence makes the heart grow fonder. If I miss you all day, I'm gonna be jumping on top of you when I get home. You know what I
Well-
mean? Like that's that part for me.
My
There's that
dad
too.
always said his idea of the perfect relationship, and it kind of always stuck with me. He said, "Sometimes for breakfast, never for lunch, always for dinner." And it was this idea that you got, you go off and you do your own thing, but you always come together at the end of the day to talk about it. But that's great, except when you're dating or married to somebody in this industry who has a 17-hour shoot or has to fly here, there, and the other. All of a sudden, it falls apart. So you got to kind of make the extra time.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just found out that because of the writer's strike, we're not going to finish the last episodes. And I got
Oh.
up and did laundry today. Oh, no worries. I got up and did laundry today. And she was like, wait a second, hold on. I still want to do my wife's laundry. I said, I don't have to work anymore. So now things go back 50-50. I'm going to be like, I have to find that.
No, that's a little different.
no,
You've
no, no.
never done laundry in the
Yes.
entirety of our relationship. So
First of all, I have. You just weren't there. But I'm bringing up a point. The
I was
point
literally
is,
like,
do you remember the episode in Shrinking when the guy who retired came home and she was like, I'm not used to
it's
you being
very
here.
real.
It's very real. Like I haven't been home. I'm not home from 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. I come home and that's it. And I sit on the couch and I don't do shit.
Right.
Like I have to find my way of feeling important at home too. So babes, I need some chores to do.
That's totally fine. And I'll say this. It's a hard adjustment for both of us because as much as I love being with Raven, I also love it when she leaves. So that like that time apart where honestly older me, or I
Yeah,
mean like
older you
me
was
in the
different.
past, a lot of that was insecure attachment. That was separation anxiety.
Right.
That was like, if
Right.
I'm not always there, then something bad will happen. And that's ingrained from my little girl self. And as I've gotten now almost 3 years into marriage, feeling more secure and understanding
She's
this
like, get the fuck out of my
relationship-
kitchen.
No, it's like I've really come to love my space and my time. And I think that
I'm
Raven
messier
and I
than her.
are like yesterday she worked all day and it was great. Like I wasn't seriously, no, I mean I'm a little nervous about this show being over for you because
Ooh. It's okay. I'm gonna be on the couch painting. Don't worry about it.
yeah, it's fine. Like we find our ways, but I think that I'm all about balance across the board. I think that working together and having great projects that we love, like we'll share our podcast together,
Yeah.
but it's also super important that like Raven has her directing separate of me and
Yeah.
that I have my writing separate of her. And, if I go back into doula work, I'll have that separate of Raven. So there's like, that is crucial.
It
I think,
takes
to a
growth
healthy
though.
relationship.
To your point, babes, I think that takes growth. I think that takes like a certain person. Not everybody can handle that. And like Julie was saying, it's like the industry that we're in, I don't think I'd be able to have that kind of relationship with you if you weren't in it beforehand, understanding those little nuances that are so important.